here I am. I'm relegated to the basement of the RV. If you remember from the last video, this is the pass-through storage basement bay. I'm currently sitting in, so it's got plenty of room here. I'm 6'1", 6'2" on a good day. So the previous plan was to have the inverters and batteries kind of where in the area where my feet and legs are, but we want to be able to use that space. So now we're shifting to using this other side. That would be the driver's side you're looking at. If you orient yourself, that's the electrical 50 amp plug cord. This is the driver's side you're looking at. I kind of move the boxes and stuff over. There's the grill. So I'm kind of sitting in the middle section of the basement bay, taking measurements. Got some measurements down there for some of the plywood, but I was looking at some of the issues I'm running into. So one thing is this middle section only has this little beam going across. So I'm trying to figure out how to attach a plywood wall to that beam. Another good thing, I was just down here with a flashlight. I'm not going to break out the flashlight now, but if you look down here, if I can get the angle, camera angled correctly. Look down there, it's pretty black, but down there is where the current batteries are situated. Hopefully, let me see if I can actually shine a light down there for you. Hopefully, put some light on that. Hopefully, you'll be able to see. That's basically the back of the RV right there. So it's a pretty good straight shot. Got the gray and black tank sitting right there. Our wet bay out to the right, and then the batteries should be all the way down there, up behind those shadows. So I'm hoping I should be able to pass whatever cables and wires I need to through this little opening. So that's the plan as it stands right now. I want to get myself out of this situation and start cutting some wood. Okay, so this is what I had previously.
Yep.
With the batteries on this tray. This is the passenger side of the basement. On the far side is the driver's side. And we are in Menards doing our shopping. Chantel's with me right now, looking at the SketchUp.
Right. And
we had bought all the materials, and I had planned.
We didn't buy it exactly. We had it in the cart.
And I had planned on having like metal galvanized pipe or something down here to support this corner of the tray. Have a flange on the bottom of the floor and that far corner of the tray. So have two metal pipes coming down to kind of support. And then what was your concern?
Well, you said to me, my only concern is if we hit.
No, what was your concern?
Just the weight of it, the batteries bouncing around and stuff up there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also concerned about me being able to access the batteries.
Yeah, that was my main concern. You being able to access the batteries and connect them all together and stuff up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of tall, and to get up there is going to be a hassle. Then you'd see like, hey, you're smaller than me. Get on up there and do this.
Okay. Like that's ever happened. It don't matter how tall I am. My concern was with the metal pipes coming down, and even in a flange that they were supported, if we were to hit a massive bump or a pothole or something, that the weight of this tray and battery configuration would basically punch a hole in the bottom of the RV, which probably wouldn't happen, but that was my concern. Anyway,
and
so
you voiced that to me,
yeah.
And I said, then no, we are not doing this. I said, those batteries are going on the floor.
Yep, so now, let me spin this around to the driver's side. All those batteries are going to be in this area on the floor.
Because I said, I don't use that side of the bay, really.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we put them over there instead of using the side that I always use?
So I'm going to take this piece of plywood, put it over here. Put these 6 batteries on the floor. We have plenty of room on this side. The only thing here is the electrical. There's an electrical reel that's kind of like in this area that I didn't draw out because I wasn't planning on using that. But then I still want to keep the inverters on this middle side here, or this middle area. So have this piece of plywood on this side, have the batteries on the floor, and then go from there. And there's our dogs. So one other resource that I found is that would be is going to be useful for me is some of the schematics I've gotten. So when we first bought the motorhome, it was made by Fleetwood, which is part of this Rev group. You kind of see here this branding Rev. I think they make a bunch of other different types of brands, but Fleetwood is one of them. I think you can reach out to your individual motorhome or your rig manufacturer and then request any kind of schematics you want. It's should be no charge. At least they didn't charge me for this one or for any of these. So they within about a few days they actually emailed me a whole bunch of PDFs of different schematic drawings. So one that I actually found here is the wiring schematics for the 120 volt electrical side of the RV. Just to kind of give you an idea, this is this is the RV looking from the top down. Here's the front of the RV, and here's the back. And this is kind of showing electrical runs for the different cables. Obviously, hopefully they don't look like this. This is just kind of showing that they're electrical cables. But one thing I was going to look at is on page 3. This is what I'm really looking at. As you can see here, they're showing the generator, which is located up front underneath the driver and the passenger seat. There's a long run of cable to that junction box. I think it's the automatic transfer switch. So it takes the input from the generator, sends it to the AC panel, which is inside the RV. It also takes input from the 50 amp cord. As you can see here, this is kind of where I was sitting earlier in the previous video, in the basement. So you can kind of see where all these cables kind of run into. And currently my inverter slash charger for my current batteries is back here in this compartment towards the rear of the RV. And you can kind of see four cables being run to this distribution box. So this is very helpful for me because at least I can visualize that yes, I'm indeed seeing the right things when I'm sitting underneath the RV and inside the basement storage areas, and seeing these cables and wires run out, and I know exactly what they're looking like. Another thing that I was going to show you is this 120 volt harness schematic. I don't know if it's pretty easy to see, but they have it labeled pretty clearly here. You know, anything from the generator is going to have white tape on one end on the generator side and blue tape on this transfer box. So I'll know if I see a cable or a wire with a piece of blue tape on it coming from the direction of the generator. That's the correct wire that I need to be pulling. So that's helpful. Another PDF that I have from the manufacturer is this routing. This is more of a 3D schematic, so you can kind of see here the current inverter is back in this compartment back here. It has a couple lines going from this junction box. This is where I was sitting in the basement. You kind of see everything kind of running into this area. You see the power cord reel stuff coming in here, and also the generator. So it's pretty neat. You can kind of see how wires are ran, and then lastly, I think this is the DC side of things. You can kind of see on our batteries. So this is the driver's side rear part of the RV. We have our 4 house batteries and 2 chassis batteries, and you can kind of see how they have things wired up. And on the rear of the passenger side, this is where the current inverter is, and see how things are wired up there. And I think there's here's an even better depiction of how the house batteries currently are laid out in that rear compartment on the driver's side, along with the batteries. And then this is they call it the door side and the road side. So this is the driver's side, which is called road side, and then the passenger side, which is called the door side. So here's my current inverter, and then a battery control center in a different compartment. So if you ever do an install like this, trying to tackle it on your own, definitely try to get as much schematics as you can from your manufacturer, whether that's this Rev group, maybe Tiffin or Winnebago has similar ones too. But yeah, definitely I'm going to be studying these over the course of the next few days. Like I said, I do a lot of planning before actually starting the cut and starting to pull wires, so hopefully it'll help me in the future, upcoming weeks. And then I'll show you some of that stuff as I actually get down and dirty and start screwing things into the RV.